Senator Shaheen.
Thank you. Senator Perdue, I have a long list of questions, but I want to start by following up on something you just said about information and information warfare. Because the first hearing that we did before this committee this year was on China. And we heard testimony that China spends over $1 billion a year on propaganda, on trying to sow disinformation and misinformation around the world. So can you talk about what you think we should do to respond to that?
Well, thank you, Madam Ranking Member. First of all, before I answer your question, I want to make a comment, Mr. Chairman, to thank the Ranking Member for your forbearance in my presence here today. This would not have happened in any other administration that I know about, and you've done something today that's really never been done before, and I want to personally thank you. I will commit to you as well that in the future I will remind our Republican colleagues when the tables are turned that I will remind them of what you did today. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Answer your question, this is one of the major dangers we have right now because as the chairman just said, it's very subtle, it's hard to recognize. One of the ways that there are two things that I would suggest, having lived over there and seen them doing this for the last 30 years. What we have to do is defend that here at home. That means we have to have an education system about the dangers that they provide us today. Most people are not aware that they're in our power grid. They're not aware that they're collecting our data. They're not aware that our ports can be manipulated by people in China. So that is an education process that we owe our people. The second thing is, I don't think this is a unilateral issue. I think that if you look at the relationships we have around the world, people have got to wake up that the world is bifurcating, and China is accelerating that bifurcation. You have totalitarian states on one side, you have democratic states on the other, and as that study just said, the one you referred to at Dartmouth, that 34% of the world's global profit the U.S. is responsible for that 34%. The rest of the world, in the democratic world anyway, is about 32%. So they have about 2/3. China only has about 16% according to that study, and I would back that up in my personal experience. Well, we've got to develop a relationship with these allies that will help us develop the message and communicate not just to China, but to the people that China is trying to perpetrate this on.
And I certainly agree with that, which is why I find dismantling the apparatus that we've had to do that so disturbing, that we no longer have what was so important as we were able to help encourage the fall of the Soviet Union, help provide factual information into those communist countries around the world, that the administration has suddenly dismantled all of that apparatus in ways that are going to not allow us to have that ability to provide factual information to counter what the Chinese are doing. And I would ask you, Dr. Crowley, I know this is not part of your portfolio, but as somebody who has been very engaged in the media over the years, how important do you think it is that we are able to get across the differences between the United States and China to not just the PRC, but to the countries that they're trying to influence around the world?
Well, thank you for that question, Ranking Member. I appreciate the question, and I also appreciate the importance of soft power, which is what your question gets to as well. I think the question before the administration is how best to do that. The president won with a historical mandate and in last November's election, and part of that mandate was to root out waste, fraud, and abuse, make the government work more efficiently for the American people, and to protect the American taxpayer. I think those are things that all Americans agree on and support.
I think we would all agree on waste, fraud, and abuse being good to get rid of. I think we would disagree on what is constituted waste, fraud, and abuse. And I don't think that dismantling our way of responding to our adversaries constitutes waste, fraud, and abuse.
I think that the president is very interested in exercising the soft power, to your point, Ranking Member, and I think he's interested in making sure that American resources are directed in the most effective way to accomplish that.
I hope so. I'm not convinced yet. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.